On a warm summer day 9 years ago, I was walking back to my office after lunch with my good friend Dave Van Blurkum. Engaged in animated conversation, we arrived at the major Walnut Creek intersection where Mount Diablo Boulevard crosses North California Boulevard. We paused, waiting for the lights to change. They soon did, and the walk icon appeared with the "walk sign is on" voice announcing it was safe to cross. We stepped off the curb. Dave was to my right. We were just a few steps into the crosswalk when my peripheral vision noticed the car to our left was moving directly towards us. I instinctively jumped up to avoid being hit. At the apex of my jump, the car struck my feet and ankles. The kinetic energy from the moving 4,000-pound vehicle instantly whipped my 180-pound body from vertical to horizontal, landing me hard on the hood of the car. My lower left arm and fist absorbed the brunt of the impact. At this point, the driver had slammed on the brakes. This caused me to roll forward off the hood and onto the street. Somehow I managed to land and stay on my feet. I immediately marched around to the driver's door. The window was rolled up. Through it, I saw an older, gray-haired woman wearing very thick glasses. Her hands were locked on the steering wheel. She was frozen in terror. With my knuckle, I tapped on her window. It moved down just halfway. I paused for her to say something. She was stone silent. So I curtly told her, "You shouldn't be driving." Still no response. My anger began to ease, giving way to a tinge of empathy. At that point, I noticed the traffic in the lane behind her backing up. My eyes darted around looking for a place she could pull over to talk. There was no convenient option. I turned back to her and said, "Just get out of here," and waved her on. With no hesitation, she sped away. As the backed up traffic began to move through, the drivers behind asked if I was okay. I assured them I was fine. This entire episode lasted perhaps a minute. My emotions had gone from fear to relief to anger to empathy as I tried to make sense of what was going on. Back in the office a few minutes later, I shared the experience with our assistant Debbie. She listened intently. When I was done, she proceeded to scold me. She said, "I should have gotten the lady's information and should have reported the incident to the police." Debbie then added sternly, "Now she'll probably hit someone else." I retreated to my office, closed the door, and called my wife Donna. I relayed the same story. She listened patiently to the end, then paused and exclaimed, "You mean you just let her go? Now she's going to hit someone else, and they won't be so lucky as you were." I actually don't recall ever feeling the emotion of "lucky me." What I was feeling now was more a sense of guilt and perhaps even remorse as I thought about all those innocent pedestrians my neglect had placed in mortal danger. I'd gone from victim to villain in this story. So what happened here? I'll let my granddaughter Michaela help us with some insights about how our brains are wired to work in episodes of stress.
In the TV series Cosmos, the astrophysicist Carl Sagan popularized the model of the triune brain. It characterizes the human brain as three brains in one. Number 1, the brainstem, often called the lizard brain as it controls basic body functions like coordination and reflexes that even reptiles have. Number 2, the limbic system. The main functions of this complex relate to emotion, stress response, and memory. It translates sensory stimuli, sound, sight, touch, smell, into emotions that we feel. These emotions signal to us what's going on around us to prompt reactions. Within the limbic system, about the size of a shelled peanut, is the amygdala, not to be confused with the Star Wars heroine, Padme Amidala. Though tiny, it is a major processing center for emotions. Number 3, the neocortex, the most human and advanced part. It governs decision-making, judgment, and language. The prefrontal cortex is the last part of the brain to mature, usually not until one's early 20s. With this simplified triune construct, we can illustrate how the brain engages in a sequence of 3 functions to keep you alive and thriving. First, detection. Something happens in your environment that could be consequential. For example, a car is moving towards you while you are walking through a crosswalk. Before you're at all conscious of this, the image is processed by the eye's retina, which is a part of the brain outside of your skull. It sends the information to the visual cortex of your brain, located at the very back and bottom of your head. Second, reaction. The amygdala receives a signal that there is a threat to your safety. In less than 1/10 of a second, it translates that into the primary emotion of fear. The amygdala then sends a signal to the pituitary gland that tells the adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys, to spit out stress hormones. These are adrenaline and cortisol. They initiate the fight or flight response. They make your heart pound and give you a lightning-fast reaction to jump out of the way. Third, decision. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead, is getting a signal about what's happening. Your limbic system has already saved you from serious injury, but now you have to consciously decide how to act. Do you throw something at the passing car? Do you shake your fist and hurl epithets? Do you laugh it off? You decide, using your thinking brain, your prefrontal cortex. Your ability to recognize the feelings in your body caused by the stress hormones can make that a better decision. In this case, the emotion of fear helped prevent more serious injury. Negative emotions are crucial because they tell us how to react to the world in a way that helps us survive and thrive. Negative emotions are protective against existential threats, whether those be hungry predators or distracted drivers. Bad feelings aren't fun, but that's the point. Getting your attention and making you act is how they protect you.